Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sedona International Film Festival. I'm your host, Carol Kahn. We are coming to you live from Yavapai College and also live on YouTube. So make sure that you watch all our filmmaker interviews and celebrity interviews throughout the week on YouTube, the Sedona Film Festival channel. And also, Sedona is known as the Filmmakers Film Festival, so we're honored every single year with over 100, close to 125, 150 filmmakers that come into Sedona. And we also hold workshops throughout the week for our filmmakers. And joining me now is Katie and Ian from
Festival Formula.
Festival Formula, and from, where are you from?
The UK.
The UK.
Yes,
So it's, I always want to say England or
Yeah,
the UK
many
proper.
names. Yeah.
And it's so nice to have you with us. This is their third year covering the film festival. And so basically what we were talking about earlier is that what they do is global. So they get the film festival's word out globally. So talk a little bit about what you've covered when you were here in Sedona, and then also the workshop.
Yeah, so we're very similar to Cricket that you've just spoken to, and she works with students at New York Film Academy. We are not necessarily tied to an education body. We are a company that anyone can hire us. So we are dealing with filmmakers from all over the world, but we're also dealing with festivals from all over the world. So this is our third time at Sedona, and we love their program here. But the programming for the educational side, the workshops, is also brilliant too. So this year we've got two events that we're doing with them. The first workshop is about ask a festival strategist anything you want. So you've got us two as well as Cricket. You can pick our brains, which we love doing. We love kind of being educators and sharing. And then you're moderating that.
I'm moderating it. So nothing's off topic.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of secrets and mystery to the circuit. There's 40,000 film festivals worldwide. So understanding where you fit in the ecosystem can be quite tricky. So we have our own systems and practices that we involve with each film. Every journey for film is different. And we're just making sure that they're finding the audiences they deserve, and making sure that the circuit journey is not just about playing the film, but what else do the festivals offer, networking, workshops, this sort of thing. So we're very busy in terms of finding who's the next Sundance, who's on the up. So it keeps us very busy.
Yes, I can imagine that. I mean, I didn't realize that there were, what was it, did you say?
40,000.
40,000.
So that's including like the big ones that you know, but all the way down to like local screenings and stuff in smaller towns and villages and stuff. So, if there's something public, it's technically a film festival. If you can buy a ticket, you can go. It's a festival. So we're basically looking at the circuit quite wide, and on the territory breakdown, there's obviously a lot in America and in Canada, but there's thousands in Europe as well. It goes on, and festivals have their own remit as well. So sometimes they can be really hyper specific, like they want films with bicycles in, or there's a festival in Australia where they just want nice stories, nothing horrible, just nice stories. So it makes it really interesting when we look at a film to identify what it is, and then matchmake it with the suitable festivals on the other end.
Oh, that's really interesting. Every year with the Sedona Film Festival, I always, there's always a theme, some kind of theme. Like one year it was Native American, and then one had to do with sports and outdoor. It was always something, some kind of theme. This year I'm not sure that there's a theme. It just seems like it's very well-rounded, I think, this time around. But do you find, knowing all the film festivals, you just mentioned, because my question was similar to that, but specifically, do film festivals every year kind of change their dynamics, whether they want bicycles or nice stories or whatever it is? Do they stay consistent with that, or do they change with maybe what's happening in the world at the time?
I think if they have a really specific remit, like the Bicycle Festival that you recommended, or if it's a human rights documentary festival, they're pretty locked into that every year. But actually, what you just mentioned about Sedona having a thematic program, naturally what happens is the films that are being made are a reflection of what's going on in the world. So there is that kind of zeitgeist element to it. So we see it when we're being sent films to consider for our companies, that will say, we're getting a lot of films about conflict, or a lot of films about, especially recently, kind of the assisted living and assisted suicide. So there is a bit of a reflection. The programmers at these festivals that don't have a set remit, where they're just looking for good films like Sedona, their job is to kind of get the cream of the crop and kind of say, well, what do our audiences want to engage with?
Right.
And that can change every year. You know, sometimes if there is a very common theme that's happening at lots of different festivals, a festival might want to buck the trend. We don't want to play the films that everyone else has played. We want to play something different. So, yeah, it's very tuned in to each festival.
And I think you made a really good point, because that's exactly right. It really is what's happening during
Yeah.
the time that you start seeing a massive, you know, subject matter on a topic that may be just what's happening in the world. So it sort of evolves into that. But sometimes, you know, like, it's not like we look for certain things or whatever that is. It's just what filmmakers are submitting those types of films, and it just sometimes it's thematic.
Yeah, it totally is. And like sometimes we'll kind of say, oh, we've watched 10 films this week, and they all have this kind of coming of age element to them, or you know, or a road trip.
A lot of dementia films.
A lot of dementia
in
films.
The last year, which
Yeah.
is quite an interesting subject, because dementia can be heart-wrenching in terms of watching relationships break down as the disease worsens, but we've also seen horrors where it's been shot from the person suffering from dementia, and they think they're being broken into and being robbed, but it's actually their son. So it's a matter of perspective, so you get some really interesting stories. And we always say with films, you get to spend, you know, a few minutes for a short film, 5 minutes, or a feature 90 minutes, to live in someone else's shoes just for a little bit of time and experience their own perspectives. It's always really exciting.
Awesome. And so the workshops that the two of you are doing the same with Cricket, it's on Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
And what are the times?
That's a really good question. The one on Friday is at 10 a.m. And I think the one on Saturday is.
I just know it's on Saturday.
Oh, I think it's 1 p.m.
Okay,
I
well,
think.
they could check the Sedona Film Festival program, has a list of all the workshops in the program. So if you'd like to attend, make sure that you check that out. And it's usually, they're filled. Are they usually filled?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
there's always space for more.
Yes.
Yeah,
we'll
always
always
space
make,
for more.
we'll make room. We'll make room. Well, it's so great to have you here. Thank you for coming back again to Sedona. I hope to see you again next year. I think this just needs to be a family reunion, right?
Absolutely, yeah. You can't stop us.
Yes, no, I'm not going to. And that's what we like. We like in Sedona, family reunion. So please stay with us. Follow us on social media, #Sedona Film Fest. Also on YouTube, the Sedona International Film Festival, where you can watch all the filmmaker interviews that we have throughout the week, as well as celebrity interviews and red carpets. And so thank you for joining us, and make sure that you continue to do that throughout the week. So thank you both again for being with us.
Thank you.